Hey, good morning, my friends. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. Hopefully this is better. I was trying out a new microphone and I forgot when you change things in software, you got to change the settings. So here we go. Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can. It looks like the meter is showing up. A new microphone, we felt like the volume was getting kind of low on the old microphone, so maybe it had a little short in it, not so sure. So here we go. We're going to talk about, of course, the rain system moving through now, mostly rain. We've had a little bit of freezing rain, and that seems to have stopped because temperatures are several degrees above freezing now in even the coldest spots. And then we'll talk about the end of the holiday period. It looks like a little snow has inched up about 6 hours, so it could affect you on Sunday. And I've promised you a deep dive into meteorology, one thing, and we will go at that too. So looks like everybody's not worrying about sound. So how do I sound? The meter looks pretty high on the audio, so hopefully you can hear it pretty good. All right. Here's the current radar, and where you see the orangish, that's the radar saying, could be snow, could be freezing rain, could be rain. And you'll notice it kind of flashes in there. It's not a perfect algorithm, but the main story here is that it's mostly all rain for at least the southern 2/3 of lower Michigan. All right, Beverly, thank you very much. Sounds good. So we have a wet day, obviously. Let's get into it here and show you. Let's pull up the radar forecast. Okay. And give me just a second to expand it out here for you. Here we go. Radar forecast. Noontime. Still raining in Saginaw and the Thumb and Bay City in the north, and could be snowing. Pamela says sound is tinny. Okay. Different microphone. Ann Arbor, Detroit, rain into noontime. Let's go into 2, 3 in the afternoon. Still showers in the south. Rain and snow in the north. Traverse City, you could get into the colder air. The Traverse, what they call the Grand Traverse area, could have some off and on snow showers. Nothing of significance. And then we go into midnight tonight. Dry with, by tomorrow, some colder air out of the northwest can lead to some brief little rain or snow showers. But generally, tomorrow is a dry day. This is, in the evening. If you're traveling somewhere tomorrow, no problems whatsoever. And then we go toward Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving morning, 9 a.m. And here we go. Sounds like Mike is too close to the close. Let's see. Shouldn't be. So, Thanksgiving looks like good weather too. That's into the evening hours on Thanksgiving. All right, so snowfall today, Gaylord, Grayling, Indian River, Posen. Sounds like I'm in a toilet tank. All right, so something's wrong here then. Let's figure this out here for a second. Should be all right. All right. Well, maybe it's just not a good microphone to be using. So, light snowfall, 1 inch or 2 in the far northern parts of lower Michigan. Temperatures. Today, you'll make it to near 50 in Ann Arbor and Detroit and Kalamazoo, and 40-ish Saginaw to Grand Rapids, but then only low to mid-30s northern lower Michigan. Now tomorrow, we're 40-ish in the south, upper 30s in the north. Thanksgiving, upper 40s from Bay City, Midland, Grand Rapids, Muskegon, southward, upper 40s, so very nice for Thanksgiving if you don't want any travel problems. Hey, Tommy Norman, thank you. All right, thanks for giving me some feedback on the sound. You know, when you're trying different equipment, you don't know what it really sounds like. So this is Friday, day after Thanksgiving. We turn colder, below freezing for most of the day, most places, even northern lower, upper 20s for highs. Saturday, low to mid 30s, so it's cold, and Sunday's cold in the 30s. Now, take note on Sunday because that would be a temperature that would support snow. Kendall Bailey, is there any more warm weather coming? I still have to put my lights up. I've been waiting for them in the mail. Okay, you've got an excuse, Kendall Bailey, waiting for them in the mail. Looks like by the time we get to maybe December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, you might get some 40-degree days. Jeff McPherson, Bagel the Beagle Weather Dog is still going strong. He's got a routine now. He's almost 20. We're going to have a 100-year-old birthday party for her because our vet says that for that size dog, it's 5 years for every 1 year in life. He's 19. He'll turn 20 May next year. We're going to have a 100th birthday party, invite all of the family and whatnot. He's going to be like, what is going on? So he's still going strong. I'll have to bring him on. So this is Sunday. This is Monday, 30s. This is Tuesday, 30s to near 40. This is Wednesday. This is Thursday of next week. This is where the deep dive comes in, okay? And where it comes in is that we like the European model. It does really well. It does really well from 2 days out to 7 days out, okay? Then it gets a little iffy after that. But it's got a cold bias. So what we're going to talk about here shortly is the difference between the deterministic output of the European model, which I just showed you, and it showed you 10 days out, very cold weather, where its bias is and where we can have some errors. We're going to look at the deterministic versus the ensemble mode of the European. Very important for you to understand if you're ready for a deep dive into meteorology. So, now let's get into what's going on for the storm system, and we're going to look at the European. This is the deterministic mode of the European, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about with the precipitation speeding up toward the end. Hey, thanks everybody for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Doing a little bit of new equipment, so there's always bugs. So this is Wednesday, and it's dry. No travel problems. No travel problems anywhere. If you're going to Chicago, if you're going to the UP, if you're going to Wisconsin, if you're going to Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, no problems. Thanksgiving. Middle of the day Thanksgiving, no problems. Again, anywhere around the Great Lakes. Friday, no problems. Maybe an isolated patch of a spotty snow shower or two. No widespread problems. Saturday, no problems whatsoever. Sunday morning, 7 a.m., light snow off to the west. Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. Light snow developing, northern lower Michigan, maybe western lower Michigan. And by 7 p.m. Sunday, the snow has overspread the area. So this is a quick mover. This is not a heavy deal, but notice it's everywhere. It's what I call a system snow, not a isolated lake effect snow. So it looks like Sunday afternoon, we'll see some light snow developing all across the lower Michigan, and even the UP. Eric Calhoun, think warm thoughts, MLive.com, and you'll do well. Thank you for putting a little holiday in your heart. There you go, Eric Calhoun. Thank you for the nice message there. Now, this is next Monday, and we get a little bit colder and into some spotty lake effect. And then this is that deterministic mode of the European. It has a strong storm system midweek next week, and then it pours in the cold air. Now, this is 9 and 10 days out, and we've had a lot of head fakes on this cold. Just remember last week about this time, Thanksgiving was looking quite cold, and it backed off. That's the problem with the European as it gets out in the future. So you've got the forecast here now. You've got the forecast, and it is rain today, a little snow in the north, coming to an end. Dry Wednesday, Thursday, Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday, light snow coming in sometime on Sunday. That's the next thing I'll start to track for you. Now the deep dive, okay? Deterministic mode versus ensemble mode. We have this for all models. So the deterministic mode is the best set of starting conditions and the best whole enchilada that the modelers like on a particular model. So the GFS, the US model, the Global Forecast System, has a deterministic mode. It also has an ensemble mode. The European has a deterministic and an ensemble. So the deterministic can have some pitfalls, and one of them for the European is that as it gets farther out, it gets colder than normal, colder than what actually happens. It has an error toward the cold side. So now we compare it to the ensemble mode. And what you'll see is that when we go out 10 days, the European is forecasting, the deterministic mode is forecasting a big plunge of very cold air. When we look at the ensemble mode, that's 50 different iterations of this starting point of the European. It's still colder than normal, but much less colder than normal. So let's take a look at that. And this is important because oftentimes a snowfall 3 and 4 days out, I'll show you the ensemble snow forecast because it's middle of the road kind of average. Whereas the deterministic could be going crazy on something. So here we are. What you're looking at here now is the Europeans' deterministic mode of the surface temperature anomaly. So obviously, like today, we're a little warmer than normal in the south, and then we talked about by Black Friday, this is Thanksgiving and this is Black Friday, we turn colder than normal. We turn about 10 degrees colder than normal. And we stay kind of cold through the weekend, and early next week we stay a little bit colder than normal by 5 or 10 degrees. And then we see just a touch of a warm-up ahead of that cold front. Remember, this is the deterministic one, the one that I just showed you. And then look, as we get into 10 days out, it brings us to 12 degrees colder than normal. Okay? Deterministic. Now, we're going to look at the same model, same output, surface temperature anomaly, and we're going to look at it in the ensemble mode. And it's going to even things out some, and we're going to take it out to the same time period. Now, the determinist or the ensemble, we get in my service, we get a longer look out, and we will do that here. But we want to look at apples to apples, same time. So this is actually we'll call it December 1st. So look at the ensemble mode now. It's about 4 degrees colder than normal. Okay, so ensemble, deterministic. Okay, so that means the deterministic was one of those 50 iterations that was very cold, and we know that that's the problem with the deterministic mode. So in other words, we're probably going to stay colder than normal, but it may not be as cold as the model show. Now we get to take the ensemble out, and this is important too. We get to take the ensemble out to 16 days. So now we go December 2nd. We go December 3rd. Somebody asked about putting the Christmas lights up. We go to December 4th, 5th. We end it at December 6th. Remember, 50 iterations showing an average of going warmer than normal. Not by much. 4 degrees warmer than normal. 4 degrees warmer than 35 is 39. So it's still cold, but it's not to the other side where you have highs in the 20s. So I would say sometime in the first week or two of December, at least the southern half of lower is going to have a couple of days with high temperatures, probably 40 to 45 or so. Whew. That was a deep dive, wasn't it? It's important. It's an important thing to know. The ensemble forecast is not the best forecast in the short term, too averaged out. The best forecast in the short term is the deterministic mode of the best model. That's what you have me for. High resolution rapid refresh certain times, North American model NAM certain times, a GFS, unfortunately rarely. And that really torques me off. Why can't we have our best model be the best one in the world? European, good in the deterministic mode, 2 and 3 days out. And then we switch to the ensemble mode. So, if it's too much for you, just realize you still need me. AI is not going to replace me through the time that I retire, which, I don't know, it's probably at least 5 years. So there you go. That's the MLive morning weather update. You ask yourself, do you get any kind of weather information like that anywhere else? And then if you could, I've got a little to-do for you today. 2 of your friends or family members say, hey, you got to check out this weather broadcast. How's that sound? I'd appreciate that very much. It does help. So thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa, and you have yourselves a great Tuesday.